Good evening, everybody. My name is Andrew, and it is about 10 o'clock on Sunday, October the 8th, 2017. And I just wanted to make a quick video as a little bit of an introduction to something I'm going to be working on for the next few months. I want to run a marathon, and I want to begin my training immediately, and I'm hoping to document this entire process through a series of vlogs, videos, experiences, however I can get people involved and to show others what I'm doing. So I know you're probably asking, Andrew, why a marathon? Who cares? What's the big deal? 26.2 miles. What's the big deal? Why are you sharing this with us? Why should we find this important? It's been a huge goal of mine my whole life. When I was little, I wasn't the most athletic kid in the world. I really came around on physical fitness and really caring about my body toward the end of high school. And when I went to college last year, running and going on distance runs and finding athletic outlets to make myself better was something that was a huge stress reliever for me transitioning into college. And going forward, I see this as a huge opportunity to take my game up and to put myself on a different level. It feels like a huge goal that I feel like I can achieve now. And I know you're probably wondering, Andrew, 26.2 miles is a really lofty goal. Where are you now? As for where I am now, currently I do about 30 miles a week. I've been doing 30 miles a week pretty consistently for about 2 years. I started really caring about running, really caring about weightlifting, even though it doesn't really show it. I really started caring about that kind of thing last February, so February of 2016. And essentially when I went to college, my mileage went up. I went from about 25 miles a week at that point up to 50. I was doing 50 miles a week. I would go for between 8 to 9 miles a day, and then on the weekends I would go about 12, and I would do this 5 times a week. So one of my goals back then was actually to do what I'm doing now, to train for a marathon. But the problem I had was I wasn't doing it in a positive way. I became kind of hooked on it, to be quite frank. I became kind of hooked on it, and I started to essentially rely on it too much as a stress reliever. And I found myself just running farther and farther and farther, and I was not paying attention to my body, paying attention to the surfaces I was running on, paying attention to my diet, and it all kind of built up on itself. And I ended up developing tendonitis in both of my Achilles tendons of both of my legs. So this time around, I want to not only make sure that I'm bettering myself physically, but I also want to make sure that I'm doing it in a healthy way mentally. I want to make this as positive of an experience as it can be in order to make me want to do it again. So I have about 5 months to do this. I ran the Army 10 miler today. I don't know if I said that before, but I ran the Army 10 miler today. Felt good. I ran a half marathon about 3 weeks ago. It felt good. Finished under 2 hours. I feel pretty solid about it. Right now I'm doing my runs generally at about a 9-minute pace, give or take. I'm hoping my race pace for a marathon to be between 9:30 and 10 minutes. My pace for the half marathon I just did was about 9:15, so if I can maintain that, that would be phenomenal. But I'm in the beginning phases of this. I have a good start, but I know I have a long way to go in terms of getting myself to where I need to be, and I feel like I have an adequate amount of time to be able to do that. I think that the bulk of my training, the bulk of what I'm going to be working on is going to be in the months of December, January, February. I'm hoping not to peak too early because when I trained last time for the race I didn't end up doing, I peaked way too early and I didn't do it in a healthy way. So I'm hoping to do this as healthy as possible. I'm hoping to be as on schedule as possible, and I'm going to be doing this in a lot of different facets. So it's not just the physical aspect, it's also going to be making sure I'm in a good place mentally, being in good control of my diet, making sure I'm on schedule. And also another thing that's really important to me that I want to mention is that I'm also going to be having a charitable aspect as part of this. So I'm going to be using this thing called Charity Miles, which is an app that essentially will pledge a donation amount of money to a charitable foundation of your choice. So pretty much every mile I do, whether that be training or the actual run, Charity Miles as a company will donate money to the charitable foundation of my choice. I haven't necessarily figured out which one I want to do yet, even though the one I have in mind particularly is the Wounded Warrior Foundation. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be able to do that. I'm not sure if it's available, but if it is, I want to go with that philanthropy as well. Not only just to make myself better physically, but also to have a higher purpose to what I'm doing and to somehow give back to veterans that give this country so much. So that's essentially what I'm going to be doing from here on out. I'm going to try to update this pretty regularly. As we get closer to the race, I'll update it more frequently. Being that we're still 4.5 months out, it's going to be once every few weeks. Once we get into November, December, January, it's going to start being more common, and I'm hoping by February and early March, being that the race is on March 10th, that's when it'll be pretty common. Maybe twice a week in February. I'm not quite sure yet. We'll see how it goes. But I'm excited about this. I know it's going to be a challenge. I'm looking forward to it, and I think this could be something not only very rewarding for myself, but also something I can feel good about and lay my head down at night in a stable way, knowing that I'm also helping a charitable organization in some shape or form while making myself better as a man and as an athlete. So I'm excited about this prospect. I'm excited to share it with you. Any questions, comments you have, feel free to shoot them my way. I'm excited about this, and I can't wait to run. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a good night.